Commander Kate Morrison stood in the large diplomatic chamber. The room was cold and the lights were too bright. She did not like this place. Across from her stood Chief Executive Rental, a creature that looked like it was made of blue crystal and shadows. The alien was twice her height and moved with careful, slow gestures. Kate had met with the Korthax before. They were an old race, powerful and careful. They never showed emotion. They spoke in flat voices and kept their distance from younger species like humans. But today was different. Today, Rental looked worried. "Commander Morrison," the alien said, his voice like wind through a cave, "I bring difficult news." Around the table, other human diplomats shifted in their seats. Kate remained still. She had learned long ago that stillness was a kind of power. Let others fidget and worry. She would wait. "The Yargith fleet known as the City Killers has changed course," Rental continued. "They are heading toward your space. Specifically, toward the colony of New Haven." The room went silent. Kate heard someone gasp. Another diplomat dropped their datapad. The sound echoed in the quiet. Everyone in the galaxy knew about the City Killers. They were a fleet of 12 massive warships that traveled from system to system, destroying cities for sport. They had wiped out entire civilizations. They turned populated worlds into dead rocks. For 10 years they had burned their way across the outer rim, and no military force had stopped them. "How long do we have?" asked one of the diplomats, his voice shaking. 4 days, perhaps 5, Rental said. "I recommend immediate evacuation of all population centers." The Yargith do not negotiate. They do not accept surrender. They simply destroy. "New Haven has 400,000 people, another diplomat said. "We cannot evacuate that many in 4 days." Kate finally moved. She leaned back in her chair and crossed her arms. A small smile appeared on her face. It was not a happy smile. It was the smile of a hunter who had just spotted prey. "Good," she said quietly. Everyone turned to look at her. Rental's crystalline features shifted, showing confusion. This was not the response he expected. "Good?" he repeated. "Yes," Kate said, her smile growing colder. "Good saves me tracking them all down." The room erupted in shocked voices. One diplomat stood up so fast his chair fell over. Another started speaking rapidly into his communication device. But Kate was already standing, already walking toward the door. "Commander Morrison, you cannot be serious," Rental called after her. "The City Killers have destroyed 46 worlds. No force has stood against them successfully. Your colony will be—" Kate stopped at the door and turned back. Her eyes were hard and cold. "They killed 3,000 people at Research Station Meridian 3 years ago. I have been looking for them ever since. Now they are coming to me. This conversation is over." She left the chamber, the door hissing shut behind her. In the hallway, she activated her communication device. "Ryan, get the team together. War room, 10 minutes. "Understood," came the immediate response. Lieutenant Ryan Cooper never questioned her orders. He had served with her for 5 years and knew better. Kate walked through the corridors of the human vessel Defiant. The ship was not large or impressive compared to alien vessels, but it was fast and it was deadly. More importantly, it was hers. The crew members she passed straightened up and nodded. They respected her. Some of them feared her a little too. That was fine. The war room was a small space with a large holographic display in the center. When Kate arrived, 3 people were already waiting. Ryan Cooper stood at attention, his face serious. Jake Stevens, the best pilot Kate had ever met, leaned against the wall with his arms crossed. Beth Carter, the ship's engineer, was already pulling up system diagnostics on her tablet. "Where is Danny?" Kate asked. "Here, boss." Danny Price walked in carrying 3 coffee containers. He handed them out and kept one for himself. "Figured we would need these?" Kate nodded and activated the holographic display. A star map appeared, showing the sector of space around New Haven. Red markers indicated the projected path of the Yargith fleet. "The City Killers are coming," she said simply. Jake whistled low. "Well, that is not good news." "It is for me," Kate said. "I have been hunting these bastards for 3 years. Now they are delivering themselves to us." Ryan stepped closer to the display. Commander, with respect, they have 12 warships. We have 1 frigate and whatever local defense New Haven has, which is not much. This is suicide. Kate looked at him. I'm not planning to fight them in space, Ryan. Not directly. She manipulated the display, zooming in on New Haven. The colony appeared, a sprawling city on a green and blue planet. It looked peaceful. It looked vulnerable. We are going to turn New Haven into the biggest trap in human history, Kate said. We evacuate the civilians quietly. We make the city look occupied. Then we fill it with every weapon we can hide. Beth looked up from her tablet. You want to weaponize an entire city? Yes. That is insane, Jake said. But he was smiling. I love it. Danny leaned forward, studying the display. We would need a lot of equipment, and we would need to do it fast. 4 days is not much time. Then we better get started, Kate said. She pulled up another screen, this one showing personnel files. I am calling in every favor I have. Every pilot who owes me, every engineer who wants payback, every soldier who lost someone to the Yargith. We are going to need an army. Ryan was quiet for a moment. Then he asked the question that was on everyone's mind. Why do you hate them so much, Commander? I mean, we all know about Meridian, but this is personal for you. Kate's expression did not change, but something flickered in her eyes. Pain, maybe, or rage so old it had turned cold and hard. My sister was on Meridian, she said quietly. Dr. Amy Morrison, she was a xenobiologist. She studied peaceful contact with alien species. She believed that we could understand each other, that we could find common ground. Kate paused. The Yargith did not give her a chance to try. They did not send a warning. They did not make demands. They just appeared and started firing. 3,000 people died in less than an hour. My sister was one of them. The room was silent. Everyone knew the story, but hearing Kate say it out loud was different. It made it real. After that, I volunteered for every mission in Yargith space, Kate continued. I learned their language. I studied their tactics, I mapped their movements. I found out that the city killers are not random raiders. They are a specific fleet led by a warlord named Kravoth. He believes that destroying what he calls lesser species is his religious duty. He has a list of targets based on old star charts. He follows a pattern. And you figured out the pattern, Ryan said, double quotes. Yes, I know where they go and why. I have been sabotaging their supply lines for 2 years. I have destroyed 3 of their support ships. Command officially reprimanded me and unofficially gave me resources to continue. They call it Phantom Protocol. Kate smiled that cold smile again. Kravoth does not know I exist. He does not know that someone has been hunting him. But he is about to find out. Beth cleared her throat. Commander, even with a trap, the odds are not good. They have 12 warships. We have 1 frigate and some ground defenses. We have more than that, Kate said. She pulled up another file. It showed a ship configuration that none of them recognized. Earth has been developing some experimental weapons. They have never been field tested. We are going to test them. And if they do not work? Jake asked. Then we die, Kate said simply. But we take as many of them with us as we can. And we make sure the galaxy knows that humans do not go quietly. She looked at each of them in turn. I am not ordering any of you to do this. This is volunteer only. If you want off this mission, now is the time to say so. No judgment, no consequences, nobody moved, nobody spoke. Finally, Ryan broke the silence. We are with you, Commander. All the way, the others nodded. Kate felt something warm in her chest, something she had not felt in 3 years. It was not quite hope. It was not quite happiness. It was purpose. All right then, she said. Let's get to work. We have 4 days to turn a city into a killing field. Jake, I need you to plot approach vectors. Figure out where they will come from and where we want them to go. Beth, start pulling together a list of equipment we need. Danny, coordinate with New Haven's administrator. We need to start evacuating civilians immediately, but we need to keep it quiet. Ryan, you are with me. We are going to talk to some people who are not going to like what I have to say. As the team dispersed, each moving to their assigned tasks, Kate stood alone for a moment, staring at the holographic display. The red markers showing the Yargith fleet looked like drops of blood on the star map. Somewhere out there, Cravath was coming, confident and unconcerned. He had destroyed 46 worlds. He thought humans would be number 40-7. He was wrong. Kate thought about her sister Amy, about the last conversation they had. Amy had been excited about her research. She had talked about how first contact situations could be handled peacefully if both sides approached with open minds. She had believed in the goodness of intelligent life. Kate did not believe that anymore. She had seen too much. She had learned that the galaxy was not a kind place. It was a place where predators hunted and prey died. But humans were not prey. They never had been. The galaxy was about to learn that lesson. 3 years earlier, Kate Morrison had been a different person. She smiled more. She laughed with her fellow pilots. She had hope for the future. That version of Kate died on the same day as her sister. The day started like any other. Kate was running flight drills with her squadron, practicing evasive maneuvers in empty space. The exercises were routine but necessary. She was in the middle of a barrel roll when the emergency broadcast came through. All ships, priority alert. Research Station Meridian is under attack. Repeat, Meridian is under attack. Unknown hostile vessels are firing on the station. All nearby ships respond immediately. Kate felt her heart drop. Amy was on Meridian. She broke formation instantly, pushing her fighter to maximum speed. The station was 20 minutes away at full burn. Behind her, she heard her squadron leader shouting orders, but the words did not matter. Nothing mattered, except getting to her sister. She arrived too late. The station that had housed 3,000 researchers, engineers, and their families was gone. In its place was a debris field spreading through space. The attack ships were already leaving, jumping to faster-than-light speed before any defense could arrive. Kate floated there in her fighter, staring at the wreckage. Unable to process what she was seeing, her communication system crackled. "Morrison, get back to the carrier. There is nothing you can do here." But Kate did not move. She activated her scanner and started searching the debris. Part of her knew it was hopeless. The station's atmosphere had been vented instantly. Even if someone survived the initial attack, they would have suffocated within minutes. But she searched anyway, calling out on all frequencies. Hoping for a miracle that did not come, they found pieces of the station over the next several days. They found personal belongings, equipment, fragments of the lives that had existed there. They found bodies frozen and broken in the cold of space. Kate identified her sister from a photo on her ID badge. The rest was too damaged to recognize. The memorial service was held 2 weeks later. Kate stood in her dress uniform while a chaplain read names. 3,000 names. It took hours. When it was over, people offered their condolences. They said they were sorry. They said Amy was a good person. They said all the things people say when they do not know what else to say. Kate did not cry. She stood straight and nodded and thanked them. Inside, something was changing. The grief was still there, but it was transforming into something harder and colder. It was becoming purpose. After the service, she requested a transfer to intelligence. Her commander tried to talk her out of it. She was a pilot, he said, and a good one. She had a bright future in flight operations. Why throw that away to analyze data? Kate did not tell him the real reason. She said she wanted a change, that she wanted to do something different. He approved the transfer, though he seemed disappointed. In intelligence, Kate had access to everything the military knew about the Yargith. She read every report, watched every surveillance video, studied every engagement. The species was violent and territorial. They valued strength above all else. Their religion taught that weaker species were meant to be destroyed or enslaved. The city killers were not rogue elements. They were heroes in their culture. Kate learned the Yargith language by listening to intercepted communications. She learned their military doctrine by analyzing their battle tactics. She learned their patrol routes by tracking their movements across known space. And slowly, over months of work, she began to see patterns. The city killers operated on a predictable cycle. They would attack a target, retreat to resupply, then move to the next target on their list. The list itself followed old trade routes that the Yargith considered sacred. Meridian had been on that list. So were 45 other sites they had already destroyed. Kate started volunteering for reconnaissance missions in Yargith space. These were dangerous assignments that most pilots avoided. The pay was good, but the survival rate was poor. Kate did not care about the pay or the danger. She wanted to get close to them. She wanted to understand them better. She wanted to find their weaknesses. On her 6th mission, she discovered something important. The city killers had support vessels that supplied them with fuel, ammunition, and repairs. These ships were smaller and less defended than the main warships. They were also predictable, following the same routes at the same times. Kate began planning attacks on these supply vessels. She could not do it alone, so she found others who wanted revenge. Pilots who had lost family. Soldiers who had lost friends. Engineers who wanted to hurt the Yargith any way they could. Together they formed an unofficial unit that operated on the edges of legality. Their first attack was on a fuel transport. They ambushed it near an asteroid field, destroyed it quickly, and escaped before reinforcements could arrive. The second attack was on an ammunition depot. The third was on a repair station. Each time they struck hard and fast, leaving no witnesses. Military command found out, of course. They called Kate in for questioning. They asked her if she knew who was conducting these unauthorized attacks. Kate looked them in the eye and lied. She said she had heard rumors, but nothing concrete. The admiral in charge of the hearing studied her for a long moment. Then he said something unexpected. These attacks are disrupting Yargith operations in this sector. Officially, we cannot condone them. Unofficially, if someone were conducting such operations, they might find certain resources becoming available. Equipment manifests might be overlooked. Flight plans might not be checked too carefully. Kate understood. They were giving her permission as long as she maintained plausible deniability. She nodded and left the hearing. From that day forward, her operations had a code name, Phantom Protocol. Over 2 years, Kate and her team destroyed 3 support ships and sabotaged countless supply lines. The city killers started taking longer between attacks because they had to find new sources of supplies. Kate tracked their movements, waiting for her chance to strike at the main fleet. Now, standing in the present on the bridge of the Defiant, Kate let those memories fade. The past was important, but the present demanded her attention. New Haven needed to be prepared, and time was running short. The ship's communication system chimed. Ryan's voice came through. "Commander, we have Linda Hayes on the line. She's the administrator of New Haven." "Put her through," Kate said. A holographic image appeared showing a woman in her 50s with tired eyes and gray hair. She looked worried, which was understandable. Someone had just told her that her entire colony was about to be attacked. "Commander Morrison," Linda said. "I was told you have a plan?" "Yes," Kate said. "But you are not going to like it. I need you to evacuate all 400,000 people from your city without causing a panic. You have 3 days. Linda's eyes widened. "That is impossible. We do not have enough transport ships." "You will. I'm calling in every available vessel in this sector. Cargo ships, passenger liners, anything that can carry people. Tell your citizens that this is a mandatory evacuation drill. Tell them it is preparation for future emergencies. Do not tell them about the Yargith until people are already boarding ships. And what happens to our city after we leave?" Kate smiled that cold smile. "Your city becomes a weapon. We are going to fill it with hidden defenses. When the Yargith arrive, they will think they found an easy target. They will be wrong." Linda was quiet for a moment. "You are planning to bait them?" "Yes, and you are confident this will work?" "No," Kate said honestly. "But it is the best chance we have. If we run, they will chase us. If we scatter the population, they will hunt us down. Better to face them here, on our terms, where we can prepare." Linda nodded slowly. "All right. I will start the evacuation immediately." But Commander, many people will not want to leave their homes. Make them, Kate said. Use force if necessary. I'm not letting anyone die because they are stubborn. After the communication ended, Kate turned to find Ryan standing behind her. He had a data pad in his hand and a concerned expression on his face. We have a problem, he said. We need more firepower than we can provide ourselves. Even with the experimental weapons, we are outnumbered and outgunned. Kate had been thinking about this problem. There was one solution, but it was risky. It required trusting someone she barely knew. Contact Chief Executor Vrental, she said. Tell him I want to speak with him privately. Ryan looked surprised. The Korthax? Commander, they never take sides in conflicts. They have been neutral for thousands of years. Then maybe it is time they chose a side. Kate said. The meeting with Vrental took place 6 hours later on a neutral station between human and Korthax space. Kate arrived alone as requested. The alien was waiting in a dim room that smelled like ozone and minerals. Commander Morrison, Vrental said. Your message was intriguing. You wish to discuss the Yarjith situation? I want your help, Kate said directly. Vrental's crystalline features shifted in what might have been surprise. The Korthax do not involve ourselves in the conflicts of younger species. I am not asking you to fight, Kate said. Not directly. I'm asking you to watch. I'm asking you to bear witness. Explain. Kate took a breath. This was the gamble. Your people are old and powerful. You have seen countless species rise and fall. You pried. The city of New Haven looked the same from orbit, but everything had changed. Kate stood in the command center that had been set up in an underground bunker beneath the city's main square. Around her, dozens of screens showed different views of the preparations. Every angle was covered. Every weapon was in place. Beth Carter stood at a terminal running final diagnostics. The railgun emplacements are all green, she reported. We have 57 hidden positions around the city. Each one is connected to the central fire control system. When you give the order, they will all fire at once. Kate nodded. Railguns were simple weapons that used magnetic force to shoot metal projectiles at incredible speeds. They were old technology, reliable, and deadly. The Yarjith shields were designed to stop energy weapons and missiles, but railguns were different. They were just chunks of metal moving very fast. Shields had trouble stopping them. What about the orbital mines? Kate asked. Danny Price looked up from his station. All deployed and armed. We have 200 mines positioned in a three-dimensional grid around the planet. They are masked to look like space debris. The Yarjith sensors will not see them until it is too late. Jake Stevens was studying a holographic tactical display. I have plotted their most likely approach vectors based on their previous attacks. They always come in from above the orbital plane, hitting the planet from what they think is an unexpected angle. We can funnel them exactly where we want them. Kate walked to the display and studied it. Red lines showed the predicted path of the Yarjith fleet. Blue lines showed the kill zones where their weapons would be most effective. The overlap was good, but not perfect. Nothing ever was. What about the experimental weapons? She asked. Ryan Cooper pulled up a file on his tablet. Earth sent us 3 prototype systems. First is a high-powered EMP generator. It can disable electronic systems in a wide radius, but it only works once. After we use it, the device burns out. And it will affect our systems too, Kate said. Double quote. Yes, but we have hardened backups. The Yarjith do not. Their ships are heavily computerized. If we can hit them with the EMP, they will be blind and helpless for several minutes. That is not much time. It is enough time to hurt them, Ryan said. The second weapon is a directed energy beam that operates at a frequency the Yarjith shields cannot block. It is powerful but requires a lot of energy. We can fire it maybe 3 times before the generator overheats. And the third? Ryan hesitated. The third weapon is classified as experimental for good reason. It is unstable. The scientists who built it are not sure if it will work or explode. It is called a quantum disruptor. Basically, it tears apart the atomic bonds in anything it hits. If it works, it could cut a warship in half. If it does not work, it might blow up half our city. Kate considered this. Where did we install it? In the old industrial district on the east side of the city. If it explodes, the damage will be contained to that area. And if it works, then we have a weapon that can kill their flagship in one shot. Kate made her decision. We use it. We did not come this far to hold back now. The door to the command center opened and Chief Executor Ventil entered. The tall alien had to duck to fit through the doorway. He looked around the room with what might have been curiosity. Commander Morrison, he said, I have been observing your preparations. They are impressive. You have turned your city into a fortress. Not a fortress, Kate corrected. A trap. Fortresses are designed to endure. This is designed to kill. An important distinction, Ventil agreed. He moved to the holographic display and studied it. You are gambling everything on this one battle. If you fail, your colony is lost. Your ships are lost. You are lost, I know, and yet you smile. Kate realized she was smiling. It was that cold, predator smile that made people uncomfortable. I have been hunting these bastards for 3 years. Finally, I get to look them in the eye. Ventil was quiet for a moment. There is something you should know, Commander. My government has been monitoring the Yarjith for decades. We have detailed information about their capabilities, their tactics, their weaknesses. I was instructed not to share this information with you. Kate looked at him sharply. What? But I find myself disagreeing with my instructions. The Korthax have been neutral for too long. We have watched too many species fall. If you are willing to fight, then I am willing to help. He produced a data chip from somewhere in his robes. This contains everything we know about the city killers. Fleet composition, shield frequencies, weapon capabilities, crew numbers, even the personality profile of their leader, Kravoth. Kate took the chip carefully. Why are you doing this? Because I am tired of watching, Ventil said simply. And because I think you might actually win. After the alien left, Kate loaded the data chip into the computer. The information was extensive and detailed. It confirmed many things she had already learned and revealed new details she could use. Most importantly, it gave her insight into Kravoth himself. The Yarjith warlord was arrogant and predictable. He believed that he was chosen by his gods to cleanse the galaxy of weak species. He followed the same attack pattern every time because he believed it was sacred. He never retreated because he thought retreat was weakness. His pride was his strength, but it was also his weakness. Kate began adjusting her plans based on the new information. She knew exactly how Kravoth would approach the planet. She knew exactly what he would do when he saw the city. She knew exactly how he would react when the trap was sprung. It was almost too easy, almost. The final preparations took another 12 hours. Every weapon was tested. Every system was checked and double-checked. The human ships, the Defiant and 2 frigates that had arrived as reinforcements, took up positions in the planet's magnetic shadow where Yarjith sensors would have trouble detecting them. The Korthax ships positioned themselves in high orbit, far enough away to be safe, but close enough to observe everything. Ventil sent a message confirming they were ready to record the battle. In the city below, the holographic projections continued to show false activity. Cars drove on streets, lights turned on and off in buildings. Communication signals broadcasted on all frequencies. To any observer, New Haven was alive and unaware of the danger approaching. Kate sat in the command center and waited. Her team was spread throughout the facility, each at their station, ready for the battle to come. The mood was tense but focused. These were people who had trained for this moment. Some of them had lost family to the Yarjith. All of them had volunteered to be here. Commander, Ryan said quietly, do you think we can actually win this? Kate thought about the question. The odds were terrible. They were outnumbered, outgunned, and facing an enemy that had never lost. But odds were just numbers. They did not account for determination, preparation, or the element of surprise. I think we are going to hurt them, Kate said. I think we are going to make them regret coming here. Whether we win or lose, the galaxy is going to remember this battle. The Yarjith have been successful because everyone is afraid of them. After today, people will know they can bleed. That is not really an answer, Ryan said. Kate smiled. It is the only answer I have. The sensors detected the Yarjith fleet 6 hours later. 12 massive warships dropped out of faster-than-light speed at the edge of the system. They were enormous vessels, each one 3 times the size of a human frigate. Their hulls were covered in weapon ports and armor plating. They looked like floating cities of death. They are here, Danny announced. 12 ships approaching in standard attack formation. Kate stood up and walked to the holographic display. The red markers representing enemy ships were moving toward the planet. Time until they reach orbit? 30 minutes at their current speed. All weapons stay hidden, Kate ordered. Let them get close. Let them think they have an easy target. The next 30 minutes felt like hours. Kate watched the markers move closer and closer. Around her, the command center was silent except for the quiet beeping of computers and the sound of people breathing. Everyone was tense, waiting for the moment when everything would explode into violence. The Yarjith fleet reached orbital distance. They began scanning the planet with their sensors. Kate held her breath. If they detected the hidden weapons, if they realized this was a trap, the plan would fall apart, but the scans showed exactly what Kate wanted them to show. A populated city, normal communication traffic. Standard defenses, nothing unusual, nothing threatening. They are broadcasting, Ryan said, translating now. A voice came through the speakers. It was deep and harsh, speaking in the Yarjith language. The computer translated it to English. Population of the human colony designated New Haven. This is Warlord Kravath of the Holy Fleet. You have been judged and found wanting. Your species is weak and unworthy. In 30 seconds, your city will be cleansed. You may use this time to pray to whatever false gods you worship. Your prayers will not be answered. Countdown begins now. The communication ended. Kate watched as a timer appeared on the Yarjith flagship, counting down from 30 seconds. It was their standard practice. They always gave their victims a countdown. They thought it was merciful. Really, it was just cruelty. Kate activated her own communication system. She changed the orbital mines detonated first. 200 explosions lit up the space around New Haven like deadly fireworks. The Yarjith fleet was moving into attack formation when the first wave hit. The mines were not designed to destroy the ships, just to damage them and force them into specific paths. It worked. 3 Yarjith warships took direct hits from mine clusters. Their shields flared and died. Hull plating buckled. 1 ship vented atmosphere from a dozen breaches. The fleet scattered, trying to avoid the mines they could now detect, but the damage was done. They were moving exactly where Kate wanted them. Railguns, fire. Kate commanded. Across the city of New Haven, 57 hidden positions erupted. The railguns had been buried beneath streets and inside buildings. Now they revealed themselves and fired in perfect synchronization. Solid metal projectiles, each one the size of a car, shot upward at impossible speeds. The Yarjith shields were designed to stop energy weapons. Lasers, plasma cannons, particle beams, all of these could be deflected or absorbed. But railgun projectiles were just metal. They hit the shields and passed through like they were not there. 5 projectiles struck the first Yarjith warship. The impacts punched through the armor and into the ship's interior. Secondary explosions bloomed inside the vessel. The warship began to list to one side, its engines failing. Direct hits on targets 1, 3, and 7, Danny reported. Target 1 is heavily damaged. Target 3 has lost engine power. Target 7 is still combat capable but showing damage. Reload and fire again, Kate said. Do not give them time to adjust. The second volley fired. This time the Yarjith were ready. They changed their approach, trying to present smaller profiles to the ground weapons. It helped, but not enough. 2 more ships took damage. One lost its main weapon array. The other had its command bridge blown open to space. They are returning fire, Ryan warned. On the screens, Kate watched as the Yargith warships began bombarding the planet. Energy beams and missiles rained down on New Haven, but the city was ready for this too. Every weapon position was hardened and shielded. Every structure had been reinforced. And most importantly, the city was empty. There was no one to kill. The bombardment hit empty buildings and deserted streets. It looked impressive, creating huge explosions and clouds of dust, but it accomplished nothing. The holographic projections died, revealing the trap for what it was, but by then it did not matter. The Yargith were committed. "Jake, take us in," Kate ordered. The Defiant and its two sister frigates dropped out of the planet's magnetic shadow. They had been hiding there, waiting for this moment. Now they accelerated toward the Yargith fleet at maximum speed. Jake flew the Defiant like it was a fighter, not a frigate. He rolled and dove, dodging incoming fire with movements that should not have been possible for a ship this size. The stress on the hull was enormous. Warning alarms blared. Beth ignored them and kept the engines running at 150% capacity. "Weapons range in 10 seconds, Danny announced. "Targeting their damaged ships?" "Fire everything," Kate said. The Defiant's main cannons opened fire. Missiles launched from every tube. Energy beams lanced out across space. The three human ships concentrated their fire on the Yargith vessels that were already damaged, trying to finish them off before moving to new targets. The first Yargith warship exploded. Its reactor went critical, and the entire ship came apart in a ball of white fire. Debris scattered in all directions. The second damaged ship tried to retreat but took a missile hit to its engines and went dead in space. 3 enemy ships down, 2 heavily damaged, Ryan reported. "But we have a problem. They are regrouping." Kate saw it on the tactical display. The remaining Yargith warships were pulling together into a defensive formation. They had recovered from their initial surprise, and now they were fighting back with coordination. Their combined firepower was overwhelming. "We cannot stand up to them in a straight fight," Jake said as he dodged another volley of fire. "We need to hit them with something big." Kate made her decision. "Activate the EMP generator." "Acknowledged," Beth said. She pulled up the controls for the experimental weapon. "Charging now. It will take 60 seconds to reach full power." "We do not have 60 seconds," Danny said. 2 Yargith ships were focusing their fire on the Defiant. The shields were holding, but not for long. "Then we make the time," Jake said. He threw the ship into a series of evasive maneuvers that defied physics and common sense. The Defiant twisted and rolled, engines screaming in protest. One missile passed so close that it scraped paint off the hull. An energy beam missed by meters. Kate watched the timer. 50 seconds, 40. The ship shook as a glancing hit got through the shields. Warning lights flashed red. 30 seconds. "Shield generators are overheating," Beth warned. "If we take another direct hit, we are done." 20 seconds. Another Yargith ship exploded, killed by the other human frigates. That was 4 down, but the remaining 8 were more than enough to destroy them. 10 seconds. "EMP generator ready," Beth announced. "Fire it now," Kate ordered. The weapon discharged. There was no visible beam or explosion. The EMP was invisible, spreading out from the generator in a massive sphere of electromagnetic energy. It washed over the battlefield, disrupting every electronic system it touched. The Yargith ships went dark. Their lights died. Their engines shut down. Their weapons stopped firing. The massive warships became nothing more than floating hunks of metal. Completely helpless, the human ships went dark too, but only for a moment. Their hardened backup systems kicked in immediately. Emergency power restored. Basic systems came back online. The Defiant had maybe 3 minutes before the Yargith systems rebooted. "All ships, concentrate fire on the flagship," Kate commanded. "We end this now." The 3 human frigates focused every weapon on Krevoth's ship. Without shields or power, the warship was defenseless. Railgun rounds punched through the hull. Missiles detonated inside critical sections. Energy beams carved through armor like it was paper, but Krevoth's ship was enormous and heavily built. Even with all 3 human ships firing, it would take time to destroy it completely. And time was running out. Their systems are coming back online, Ryan warned. We have maybe 90 seconds before they can fire again. Kate looked at the tactical display. The quantum disruptor? The unstable weapon that might work or might explode. This was the moment to use it. Fire the disruptor, she ordered. Target the flagship. Commander, that weapon is untested, Ryan protested. It might kill us all. If we do not use it, we are dead anyway. Fire the weapon. In the ruined industrial district below, the quantum disruptor activated. Power flowed into its core, building to critical levels. The scientists who designed it had warned that this moment was the most dangerous. If the containment failed, the explosion would be catastrophic. The containment held. Barely. A beam of twisted, impossible light shot up from the planet's surface. It was not really light, but human eyes could not process what it actually was. The beam struck Kravath's flagship in the center of its mass. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the warship began to come apart. Not exploding, not burning, just dissolving. Molecular bonds broke down. Atomic structures collapsed. The mighty vessel that had destroyed 46 worlds simply ceased, breaking apart into its component atoms. The silence in the command center was absolute. Everyone stared at the screens, unable to believe what they had just seen. Well, Danny said finally, I guess it worked. The remaining 7 Yarjith warships were powering back up, but their morale was broken. Their commander was dead. Their flagship was gone. They had come to destroy a helpless colony and instead walked into a nightmare. They are breaking formation, Ryan reported. I think they are going to run. Let them, Kate said. But then she reconsidered. No, let 6 of them run. Stop the 7th. Commander? Ryan looked confused. We need a messenger, Kate explained. Someone to take the story back to their people. Jake, target the slowest ship. Disable it, but do not destroy it. I want them alive. Jake grinned. Understood. The Defiant chased down one of the retreating Yarjith vessels and crippled its engines with precise fire. The ship went dead in space, unable to escape but otherwise intact. The other 6 ships jumped to faster-than-light speed and fled the system. Should we pursue? One of the other frigate captains asked over the communication channel. Negative, Tate replied. Let them go. Let them spread the word about what happened here. The battle was over. New Haven's surface was scarred and burned from the bombardment, but the city could be rebuilt. The human ships were damaged but repairable. And most importantly, they had one. Kate sat down in her command chair. She felt exhausted and empty. For 3 years, she had been hunting the city killers. For 3 years, she had lived for revenge. Now it was done, and she did not know what to feel. Commander, we have incoming communication from Chief Executive Rental, Ryan said. Kate straightened. Put him through? The alien's holographic image appeared. His crystalline features were arranged in what might have been a smile. Commander Morrison, I have recorded everything that occurred here today. The Galactic Council will receive a full report. I believe they will find it very educational. Thank you for your help, Kate said. The Yarjith officer on the screen looked young for his species, though Kate had learned that judging their age was difficult. His skin was gray and scaled, and his eyes were black and without visible pupils. Right now, those eyes were wide with something that might have been fear. I am Commander Kate Morrison of the Human Fleet, Kate said in fluent Yarjith. You are now prisoners of war. Your ship is disabled and surrounded. You will surrender your crew and submit to interrogation. The officer hesitated, then nodded quickly. We surrender. Please, we have wounded who need medical attention. We will send medical teams, Kate said. But understand this. You will be treated fairly, but you will cooperate completely. If you lie to us or resist, there will be consequences. Do you understand? Yes, Commander. Kate cut the communication and turned to Ryan. Organize boarding parties. Get our medical people over there to help their wounded. And I want intelligence officers questioning every member of their crew. I want to know everything about the Yargith military structure. Over the next 6 hours, the human teams boarded the disabled Yargith ship and took control. The prisoners were frightened but cooperative. Their entire worldview had been shattered. They had believed the city killers were invincible. Now they had watched their fleet be destroyed by a species they considered weak. Kate went aboard the Yargith ship herself to oversee the interrogations. The interior was dark and hot. Designed for a species that evolved on a world much warmer than Earth, the corridors smelled strange, like sulfur and metal. Everywhere she looked, Yargith crew members watched her with a mixture of fear and confusion. The senior surviving officer was a captain, named Verkath. He sat in a small room with 2 human guards standing nearby. When Kate entered, he looked up at her with something like curiosity. "You speak our language well?" he said. "I learned it so I could hunt your people," Kate replied, sitting down across from him. "I have been studying the city killers for 3 years. Why?" "Because you killed my sister." Verkath was quiet for a moment. "I see, this was revenge." "This was justice," Kate corrected. "Revenge is emotional. What I did was calculated and planned. I studied your tactics. I learned your weaknesses. I waited for you to come to me. And then I destroyed you." "Not all of us," Verkath pointed out. 6 ships escaped. Kate smiled. "Yes, I let them escape. Do you know why?" The Yargith captain thought about it. "To spread word of your victory." "Exactly. Those 6 ships will return to your empire. They will tell everyone what happened here. They will say that the city killers, the fleet that destroyed 46 worlds, were defeated by humans. And every Yargith warlord will have to decide what to do with that information. Some will want revenge," Verkath said. "They will come for you with even larger fleets." "Let them come," Kate said. "We will be ready. And each time they attack, we will destroy them. Eventually, your people will learn the lesson. Humans are not prey." Verkath studied her carefully. "You are very confident. But your victory here was narrow. You had surprise and preparation on your side. In a fair fight, we would have won." "War is not fair," Kate said. "War is about winning by any means necessary. You came here expecting an easy target. You found a trap instead. That was your mistake. You assumed we would be helpless because other species were helpless. You forgot the first rule of predators." "What rule?" "Always check if your prey has teeth." The interrogations continued for 2 days. The human intelligence officers were thorough and professional. They learned about Yargith military structure, communication protocols, base locations, and strategic planning. All of this information would be valuable if the Yargith decided to continue the war, but Kate had other plans. She recorded a message and made sure it was loaded onto the Yargith ship's computer, along with complete tactical recordings of the battle. Then she released the prisoners. "You are free to go," she told Verkath. "We have repaired your engines enough for you to reach your nearest base. Take this message back to your leaders." She handed him a data chip. "This contains everything that happened here. The battle recordings, casualty reports, tactical analysis. Make sure your leaders see it. Make sure they understand what happened. You are letting us go?" Verkath seemed surprised. "Yes, because you are more valuable to me as messengers than as prisoners. Go home, Captain. Tell your people what you saw. Tell them that humans can be generous in victory, but we will be absolutely ruthless if attacked again. Tell them to choose their next actions carefully." Verkath took the data chip. "I will deliver your message. But, Commander, I must ask, what if my leaders decide to attack you anyway? What if they send 100 ships or 1,000? Kate's expression went cold. "Then we will destroy 100 ships. Or 1,000. However many it takes. The city killers thought they were the hunters. They learned too late that they were wrong. If your empire wants to learn that same lesson, we will teach them. The choice is theirs." The Yargith ship left the system 3 hours later. Kate watched it go from the bridge of the Defiant. Ryan stood beside her, looking thoughtful. "Do you think they will attack again?" he asked. "Maybe," Kate said. Probably not. They are bullies. Bullies prey on weakness. Once you show them you can fight back, they usually find easier targets. And if you are wrong? Kate shrugged. Then we prepare for the next battle. We build more weapons. We train more soldiers. We make alliances with other species. Whatever it takes. The return to Earth took 3 weeks. During that time, news of the battle spread throughout human space. Kate found herself famous, though she did not particularly like it. People called her a hero. They wanted interviews and public appearances. She declined them all. Instead, she focused on her official report to military command. She documented everything that happened, every decision she made, every resource she used. She knew there would be consequences for her unauthorized actions, and she was prepared to face them. The court of inquiry was held in a large room at military headquarters. 5 admirals sat behind a long table, looking down at Kate as she stood at attention. Behind her, the gallery was packed with observers, journalists, and officers who wanted to see what would happen. The lead admiral, a stern woman named Clark, read the charges. Commander Morrison, you are accused of unauthorized military action, endangering civilian lives, conducting unsanctioned operations in foreign space, and exceeding your authority. How do you respond? Guilty on all counts, Kate said simply. There was a murmur from the gallery. Clark raised an eyebrow. You do not deny any of the charges? No, Admiral. I did everything I am accused of. I believed it was necessary to stop the city killers. I knew it violated regulations. I did it anyway. Clark looked at the other admirals, then back at Kate. Commander, you put 400,000 civilians in danger. You weaponized an entire city without proper authorization. You conducted military operations that could have started a war. Do you have anything to say in your defense? Kate thought about how to answer. She could argue that the ends justified the means. She could point out that her actions saved countless lives by stopping the city killers. She could talk about her sister and her need for justice. But she decided to be honest. No, Admiral. I have no defense. I made my choices knowing they violated regulations. If there are consequences, I accept them. But I do not regret what I did. The city killers were a threat to everyone. Someone had to stop them. I'm glad it was me. The admirals conferred quietly among themselves. Finally, Clark spoke again. Commander Morrison, this tribunal finds you guilty of all charges. However, we also find that your actions, while unauthorized, achieved a strategic victory of significant importance. You stopped a major threat and sent a message to hostile forces throughout the galaxy. Therefore, this tribunal has decided on the following sentence. Kate braced herself, expecting a court-martial or dishonorable discharge. You are hereby promoted to the rank of captain, Clark said. You will be given command of a new deep space vessel, the Relentless. Your mission will be to patrol the frontier and identify potential threats before they reach human colonies. This is a classified assignment with broad operational authority. You will have the freedom to act as you see fit to protect human interests. Kate stared at her in surprise. Admiral, I do not understand. I violated regulations. Yes, you did, Clark agreed. And normally that would result in severe punishment. But these are not normal times. The galaxy is a dangerous place, and humanity needs officers who are willing to make hard choices. We need people who can think creatively and act decisively. We need people like you, Captain Morrison. The promotion ceremony was brief. Kate put on her new rank insignia and shook hands with the admirals. As she left the room, she found her team waiting for her in the hallway. Ryan, Jake, Beth, and Danny all stood at attention. Congratulations, Captain, Ryan said with a smile. Thank you, Kate replied. I have a question for all of you. The Relentless needs a crew. It will be dangerous work, patrolling the frontier, looking for trouble. Anyone who comes with me might not come back. So I am asking, do you want to transfer to this new assignment, or would you prefer safer postings? There was a moment of silence. Then Jake laughed. Are you kidding, Captain? You think we would let you have all the fun? We are in.